Hello, everybody, and welcome to NCL Thursday Night Live. Today we have with us, I'm Gina, we have Meredith, Aaron, and Norma hanging out with us tonight to talk all about preseason. We've got a couple polls going on since preseason's active. We want to know what your favorite category of preseason is so far and which one has been the most challenging for you. So go ahead and answer those polls. We also, if you click on check out Kate's blog, we've got a little blog that I wrote about everything you got to know about preseason, but we're going to reiterate some of it tonight. And we're already getting a lot of questions, guys. And one thing I have to say right off the bat is we cannot answer any questions about methodologies, anything like that. Any questions about, we can't, programs, methods, resources, we can't answer those questions. We can't answer specific questions about any of the challenges. Just so you guys know right off the bat, we will not be answering those questions. Don't continue to ask them. So, well, now that we've gotten that rant out of the way. So, what is preseason? Do one of you guys want to talk about it? Take it away, anyone?
Meredith said that she wanted to discuss it.
Sure.
Do it.
So preseason is the game in between the gymnasium that runs all season long and the individual season, where you receive your ranking from the preseason, and that puts you in a bracket so that you're stacked up against competitors who have a fair fight against you and you have a fair fight against them. And this preseason helps the NCL board and Cyber Skyline determine where you fall. So this is a way to get your skills, figure out if you know your OSINT, your log analysis, your steganography, all of that fun, and plop you in the appropriate group for regular season. That's all I got.
Nice. So one thing I do want to say about this, so with the bracketing system, it doesn't really matter which bracket you end up with. The questions are the same for each bracket. So don't think, oh, if I am in the gold, the challenge is going to be harder. If I'm in bronze, the challenge is going to be easy. They're all exactly the same. The only difference is you're ranked against people that are kind of at the same level as you. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is if you don't participate in preseason, you won't get put in a bracket. You'll end up in the pewter bracket. And what that means is that you won't be able to get your score report and you'll be removed from the final leaderboard after all the auditing is done. So make sure you submit at least one flag in preseason. You submit one flag in preseason, you're in bronze. And that's, worst case scenario with brackets in there. So definitely something to keep note of. Somebody already asked if there's a flag hidden somewhere in this meeting. Okay. As of right now, there's not. God knows what'll happen. Kate might do something weird. So, what's next before I forget? I wrote this blog months ago and I already forgot what I wrote in it. It's fine. I'm gonna just do a quick skim. So yeah, like I already said, participation is mandatory. So don't forget to play. They're going on right now. They close on, I want to say Monday night. I know it's the 30th. Yeah, so they close on Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. You have plenty of time from now until then to go on and answer one whole question if that is all you have time for. So what else do we have going on? So there is a cheating audit done at the end of each portion of the competition. There will be one at the end of preseason. If you get accused of cheating, there's probably not an excuse that you can come up with that the Cyber Skyline boys have not already heard. They know if you're cheating. They have a very good system in place. If you're honest with them, you'll probably get a lot further. So don't try to lie and say, but I wasn't cheating. They know. So I'm going to just leave it at that. And if you're not sure about what counts as cheating, because there's already been a few things in the Cyber Skyline Slack that we've had to say, you can't ask that, that's cheating. There is a blog about cheating on Kate's blog. So And Kate just said in the comments, my favorite, I didn't cheat, I just cheated a little. Somebody will say, I didn't cheat, I just gave somebody the link to this resource. Well, that's cheating. So just to reiterate, there's also a show from earlier in the season that you can go back to and watch. It's the February 6th show. So you can take a look at that show. And then what's next? Honestly, there's not really too much about preseason. I'm gonna possibly, I can't boot myself. I might have to boot one of you to show the getting started. I'm gonna just walk you through going into Cyber Skyline really quick. So let me see. Every time I try to share my screen, it goes wrong.
Can I add something to that?
Please do.
When they're saying, when Gina was saying about asking questions, that includes, like, because I've noticed a few people try this, questions about the gym. It's not okay to, because that can help you potentially solve something in preseason. Mm-hmm. And if you ask that question, that's still not allowed. No questions or methods whatsoever until the active game is over. Yep. And the reason it's like that is for your own benefit. So if you go off and start cheating, you're not helping yourself and you're not learning anything.
Yep. And if you do have a question and you're not really sure, what counts, like as, am I asking about a methodology if I ask this? Put in a help ticket with Cyber Skyline and they will answer as much or as little as they can, depending on what your question is. That's the best way to go about asking questions during the games, is to just put in a ticket. That will be kind of your best effort if you absolutely feel like you need to ask a question. So now,
and they respond really fast too.
Yeah, they do.
They respond extremely fast.
During active games, they're on 24/7 pretty much, unless it's 3 a.m. This is one thing. This is a complaint we've heard from Franz and Toby a lot, is that people get upset when their help tickets are not answered when they submit them at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then they'll submit another one at 3:30 saying, I just submitted a ticket and nobody's answered it yet. Well, you know what? People need sleep. So guys, just be considerate of what time it is. They do a lot for us, and that is the one thing we can try to do for them, is let them get some sleep. So, if you submit a question at 3 a.m, don't expect an answer till maybe 7 o'clock, the earliest. So let's actually, before we share and show the Cyber Skyline dashboard, let's see if we have any questions. So this one we can answer. So Shelly G asks, I too am new at this, and there are topics that I haven't worked on before. Can I Google info to help me with the challenges? You can absolutely use Google. We say it all the time. Google often. Google early, Google often. Like, that is absolutely allowed. The one thing you can't do is ask other people questions. That is like main number one. You can't ask your coach. You can't ask the people on your team. You can't ask in the Slack. So Google away. And then let's see, anything else that we can actually answer? I don't think so. Here, somebody else. Somebody said, for NCL, should I use Google rather than DuckDuckGo? Use whatever search browser you prefer. Any of you guys have a particular opinion about either one?
I use Bing.
I Google everything, literally.
I never thought I'd hear the day somebody said the sentence, I use Bing.
I mean, at least you didn't mess out with, I use Dogpile or Jeeves.
Okay. So yeah, you can use any search browser. There's really no, this one's better than this one. It's just whatever you prefer. So go for it. Let's see.
Though there is to be said much about all the resources there are out there for Google Foo, doing very specific, like, in URL requests to get certain file types or something, if you're looking for something very, very, very specific.
No. What did I say?
I'm not sure, because I didn't
no methodologies.
So, all right, fine.
Okay, so Shelly G asks, how do I look at the February 6th video? If you look at your Crowdcast screen, you'll see a little thing that says schedule, and then we're right now on session 9 of 13, and it has the title. Click on more, and then you can scroll up and see the February 6th show. And I think, Meredith, it looks like you also responded and put the link, so good on you. Okay, and I think I saw something. I'm going to put this, post this question, and then Ryan Scott asks, please, where the required question I have to answer by Monday. So let's get to that. I'm going to do a screen share really quick. I'm going to kick one of you off screen. Meredith, I'm sorry. I'll invite you back on when we're done screen sharing, I promise. So, can I remember how to do that? I haven't done that. You know what? There we go. Share screen. Y'all, let me know if I break it. I totally broke it last time I tried to do this. Is it working?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is your competition dashboard. This is your Cyber Skyline dashboard. So once you log in, this is what you should see. You might see a generic Cyber Skyline page, and then there's a button that says go to dashboard, and you just click on that and you get to this spot. So if you look at mine, there's like a ton of stuff because I've been doing this a while. So what you're going to do is click on NCL Spring 2020 preseason. And then from here, you see the overview, you can see the leaderboard and the score report. We actually had Franz and Toby clear my getting started section so that I can show you guys how to kind of answer things. So once you're in here, I'm going to make this bigger. And move it. You can also do this. You can drag things around if they're just not in the spot that you want them to be in. So,
Gina,
what?
Gina, could you please shrink us and expand the screen that has the share on it? Focus on the...
Yeah. Focus.
There we go.
There it is.
Yay.
Because I never know what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm going to go back since I'm going to assume nobody actually saw what I was doing. So this is your dashboard. And then you'll see all your little different game cards. I have a ton. But you're going to click on NCL Spring 2020 preseason since we're in preseason. And from here, you can see the leaderboard. We've got some people just have finished preseason already. Good job. Ignore that. Let's see. And then score report, we're going to just, that's there. And then back to the overview page. And from here, you can click enter. You could also click on any of the specific categories. And then from here, this is where you answer the questions. So, however they tell you to answer it, that is how you will answer it. I mean, okay. Do you guys think that if I answered questions...
Slow down just a little on your...
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't really look at the comments and do the thing at the same time.
That's why I'm translating.
I appreciate it.
It takes it a second to focus when you flip screen.
Got it. I apologize. Did everybody see when I clicked enter onto here? Or do I need to go back for a third time? Anybody? Okay.
Nobody's like jumping up and down or raising their hands, so I think they saw it.
Okay. So yeah, this is where you go to answer the things. I'm going to show you how to navigate right here. So here's where we can get to the other challenges within the category. So, here's this one, and then you have the basics. And then this is kind of the other format you'll see. So with this format, you're getting prompts you're getting like these, so they're called cyber commands. So you can only answer one question at a time, and you don't see the next question until you get the previous question correct. So that's that format. And then you have this format, which is you have all the questions and then all the answer boxes. So just have fun. That's how you do that. And then right here is for hints. I think sometimes hints cost points. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they sometimes cost points. So,
They do.
Okay, yeah, they do. I've never used hints during the games. I don't recommend it. But, you know, if you really need one, like, go for it. And then this is how you see your previous answers. So.
And that one, the one that she just clicked on, can you go back to that history, please, a minute?
Yes.
So, like, full disclosure, I've done quite a few seasons already. I did not even know that you could see what answers you've already submitted until last season. And so I would repeat the same response, even though it was wrong. Not realize
I've done that forgetting to check my history. So, like, definitely if it's, like, something you're struggling on, let's say, like, a log analysis, I know for me that's, like, my worst. And it's one that I'll, you know, keep trying different answers. Same with network traffic analysis. Definitely utilize this history tab. And then this is actually one of the, this is how you give feedback on challenges if you feel like it. And then this is how you can switch to different categories. I'm not going to open those ones up because I don't know what I have in there. So, is there any particular questions about anything you guys want to see on Cyber Skyline's website? Let's see. There are so many things that I've missed. Somebody says, thanks for the history button tip. Lisa, you asked, where is history? So when you're on this page and this little rewind button that looks also like a clock, that is your history. Mine is empty because there's nothing answered. There were things answered. We had them clear it. So yeah, that's that. And then, let's see.
We got do a few in getting started from Kate, and history again is which icon?
Okay, again, history. This on this left bar, this little rewind clock thing. There you go. I'm gonna stay on that for a second. Okay, and Kate told me to answer a few of these challenges, so these are kind of
Kate's wanting you to use E and E to show the attempts.
Oh, okay. Okay, first I'm going to show kind of just the submission part of this. So the URL of Cyber Skyline's company homepage. I know this off the top of my head, so I'm not going to like sit here and type it in the browser and do all that, but it's also right here. So and big tip, copy and paste. If you know, like, let's say something with cryptography or password cracking, copy and paste that password, because sometimes you can't tell if it's an L or an I. So yeah, that's just how you submit. You can also click enter. I clicked the arrow, but you can also click enter. I'm not going to answer all of these right now. And then I'll show you how this one works and how the other questions pop up. So let's say Cyber Skyline. So they tell you right here.
Basics and challenge submission, please.
Okay. I'm trying. So here's in challenge submission. First one, example one. If we ask you what's our company name, you can just enter Cyber Skyline. Go ahead, try it out. So right here we have Cyber Skyline. You can enter, and you see how the next one comes up. So this next one tells you can answer 50 as in 50 or 50 the word. So I'm going to do 50 as the word so you can see that that works. And then these are pretty clear. They kind of tell you exactly what to answer. So I'm not going to do all of them. I'll go back to the basics. So this one is actually something like that happens a lot, and it might not be completely clear based on this. So if you're having a problem with your account, it is always Cyber Skyline. NCL doesn't control this platform. So it's always Cyber Skyline if you're having problems with your account. I've already said this, so let's reiterate. Can I ask my peers or coach for help during the NCL individual game and the NCL preseason? The answer is no. So, ta-da. And then let's take a look at enumeration and exploitation.
They're wanting to know if you can go back and show everybody what the history looks like with an answer in there.
Sure, absolutely. So now that you have answers in here, you can click on history and it'll show you. It'll also show you, when you answered the question correct. So it'll give you the question and then this little arrow, and then it tells you what you answered the question as. So I would answer something wrong, but I'd rather not because, accuracy. I've already messed mine up a little.
And that's why I like to save my accuracy dings for log analysis, because I know that it's going to eat it all up.
Yeah, I think for me it was a password cracking one. It happens. So let me show you enumeration exploitation so you can see the attempts. So on the getting started, you have like a ton of attempts. Most of them look more like this. I think NTA has a lot. So here you can see all of the different challenges you have. Sorry, I might have gone a little fast.
Okay, I'm being told to let you know that you can go ahead and bring Mistress Venom back.
Okay. I guess I
now
need
that
to
you don't have the answers. So, like, anybody who's watching this, there's like really not any reason that you haven't answered one question.
Yeah.
So that
this
way
is
not
very
in.
true. So let's stop sharing. Ta-da. Okay, let's. Sorry, gotta do a million things at once. Okay. Hello again. So let's see. I see a few questions. Let me just mark them. Okay. So. I don't know where the question I marked as. Here it is.
Just answering just one question ensures that you'll get a scouting report at the end and you'll place into a bracket is what the just answering one question does.
Yeah.
If you don't answer any, you place pewter, and meaning end game, you get no scouting report.
Mm-hmm. So, sorry, I'm trying to find the questions that I'm marking. So, David asks, what role does accuracy play in placement? So, does somebody else want to take this? Go ahead,
Sure.
Aaron.
I haven't mentioned anything yet. From what I understand, there are 3 metrics that you are assigned in all 3 games, so this isn't just preseason, as a player. There is your points, accuracy, and last submission. So everyone's ranked by points. The more points you have, the higher you're ranked. If your points tie, the second thing you're ranked on is accuracy. So 2 players with the same number of points, and this, whoever has the highest accuracy is ranked higher than someone who has less accuracy. And then I think the third metric is date submitted. So the earlier you submit it, if you get tied points, tied accuracy, that's kind of weird, but
yeah,
somehow
very
ended
rare.
up there. Never seen it personally, but
I've seen it like once or twice, but it's pretty unusual to get the same accuracy because every question holds different weight for accuracy depending on the points.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
Very weird. I actually, one time, this was like, I was shocked. I was like, how did I manage to do this? I tied like my accuracy with something else, and I was like, what? I tied my accuracy percentage with my completion percentage. And I was like, how? It was the weirdest thing. I had never done that ever. So yeah, that is how accuracy plays a role in your placement. It really just depends on if you tie points with somebody. Let's see. Somebody asks, Lee asks, it seems like the challenges are harder in preseason than in the gym. Will the challenges in individual game be more difficult like preseason? Will the individual game include all the categories I see in the gym? So yes, the gym is fairly easy. The gym is kind of just to get your feet wet. The gym doesn't change from season to season. So, once I'm sure for all of us on screen right now, this is the same gym we've seen the last however many seasons we've all played. Like, I really have seen barely any changes. Like, a couple changes here and there with maybe some of the steg stuff. But, like, really, for the most part, the gym has stayed generally the same. And then, will the challenges in the individual game be more difficult like preseason? Yes. The individual game will probably be even more difficult than preseason, and you will see all of the categories from the gym in individual season. So preseason, they only do a few categories because it's really just to place you in the brackets. You really don't need all of the categories. It just doesn't make sense because preseason also a week. If they had all of the challenges in there, everybody would get the answers to everything. Individual season is only the weekend. So you have to kind of gauge it like that. Anybody have anything they want to add?
I've actually been asked this question once before by someone who's participating. They asked me if the preseason goes on for an entire week, kind of having to do with what you're saying. Do I really have to set aside a whole week to play NCL nonstop?
Absolutely not. You don't need to be playing preseason nonstop. There's no reason for that. We all have a million things in our lives to do. We work. Some of you take classes. I personally don't anymore. But, I have a 9-to-5 job. I'm not sitting playing preseason all day, as you can see by the fact that I've only done 2 challenges. It's just when you have time, take your free time, play NCL a little, set aside a little bit of time. So, let's see.
So I'd also like to, per Crypto Kate, player ambassadors do not answer DM questions privately during active games.
And don't ask in the Ask a Player Ambassador chat for help during the active games. Like, you won't get it. That's just that. Let's see. There are so many comments coming in. I'm like, let's see. So Charles Sander asks, will we receive the answers from all the questions from preseason after the competition? No, you will not. Cyber Skyline doesn't release the answers because these are things that they reuse. NCL is not the only thing that Cyber Skyline does. They have other competitions that they help run, and they reuse their content. This is Cyber Skyline's content and not NCL's content. Some of the stuff is geared more towards NCL specific things, but this is Cyber Skyline's content. That's why when we write blogs, we do more methods rather than answering specific questions because we just can't. So, yeah, there will be no specific answers from the preseason competition. But once, I believe, either individual or team is over, I think it's after individual is over, there will be a only methodologies, or no answers, only methodologies channel open in the Cyber Skyline Slack. So everybody kind of just hangs out, talks about the methods they used. You'll see a bunch of different methods for one topic, or maybe there's only one method that a lot of people use. So that's kind of a place to go after if you're looking to learn more. But you'll never see somebody post just straight up a list of answers. That's just not allowed. That technically I think counts as cheating. So that is that answer. And then let's see what else. Shelly G asks, do the gym answers show up in your history? I believe they do. I can double check really quick. I won't share their screen, but I will just double check for you really quickly. Let's see. Yes, the gym does show your answer history. So that's that. Shelly G also asked, I came across a couple files I wasn't able to download on my computer. Do I need to use the Kali Linux machine, or how do I do this? We definitely recommend using the Kali for anything you're going to download with NCL at all. It just makes everything a little bit easier, and it keeps your machine safe. If you find a random tool online, don't just download it onto your laptop. I've totally done that. I've definitely probably caused myself problems that I don't even realize I have. Granted, I don't think I've done that on this laptop. I think it was my old one, which is fine because that thing was a dud when I started NCL. So yeah, definitely use a Kali. If you don't have it set up, we have a few blogs on Kate's blog on that. Norma wrote one. John wrote another one. You've got plenty of resources to figure out how to set up a VM. If somebody wants to throw the link in there to both of those, that'd be fantastic. So let's see. And then again, Jess P asked, do we get the answers and methods at the end? Like I said before, no answers, but everybody gets together and talks about methods once the season is over. So again, the no answers, only methods. Channel. I can't speak anymore. Ignore me. The no answers, only methodologies channel in the Cyber Skyline Slack will open up once everything's completed. Let's see. So, some of these that we answered already got put up here twice. Sorry guys, this is annoying to navigate. So Eden Spring says, does the getting started section count towards placing? I've done other sections. I was just curious about it. I believe it does, because it does carry point weight. Granted, it's not a lot. If you were to only do the getting started challenge, you'll only be in bronze. But definitely do the getting started. I know a lot of people tend to skip it, I think, because they're like, oh, I've done NCL before, I don't need this, but it does count towards your points. So definitely do the challenges and getting started. Somebody said, I didn't even know the getting started challenge counted. Yes, it absolutely counts.
Getting started is like the equivalent of that beautiful survey question in the individual game.
You don't want to know what I did my first season on the survey question. You don't want to know. I closed the survey too fast. Now they do this handy dandy thing where they have it actually in the corner, so you can't really close it, which is nice. The things we learn after one season. So Stephen asks, many students are home with district-issued Chromebooks. Do you have a Kali box on Cyber Skyline for them to use? Unfortunately, no. There are some challenges where it will be kind of a Linux system within the box. If they even use those this season, they probably will. But there's not really a way for Cyber Skyline to issue Kalis, unfortunately. So I'm sorry that this whole situation with this coronavirus is making everything all messed up. But do the best you can with the Chromebook. I know people have used Chromebooks before and done fine. You really don't need a Kali for everything. There's plenty that you can do without the Kali. Full disclosure, I didn't even use a Kali my first 2 seasons because I didn't know we were supposed to have one because I missed that practice. So if I can make it through my first 2 seasons with no Kali, so can you. Granted,
there's actually someone in the audience that I've been working with for about almost 2 years now, and he, I don't know, must be into like torture or something, but for the most part, he does everything literally in Windows.
Yeah.
Not mentioning any names. Ghost.
Our favorite troll. So yeah, you can pretty much do anything with a Windows machine. You might have some trouble with some stuff because it is district issued. I'm sure there's things, you can't download stuff and all that fun stuff, but there's definitely plenty that they can do, and hopefully they'll be back next season. with, things that they can actually use. So, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that wasn't more positive. Let's see. Shelly
I wanted to also mention, because I saw a comment a little bit earlier up about the challenges, seeing them before. Just because you're seeing them now, this is still preseason, and it's for the bracket placement, and it's to get you ready for the individual game. So you can potentially and probably have seen some of the challenges before if you played before, but that does not mean that you're going to see it in the individual game. It's intended to help get you warmed up and get your bracket placement, so that way you're competing on leaderboards that are of similar skill level. So try to keep that in mind. And the bad thing is when you've seen and completed a challenge before and you still botch it.
Yeah. Oh, I've done that.
Not saying that I've done it, but yeah, okay, I've done it.
I think we've all done it at some point. And that's the thing with these. You'll see like variations on challenges. So we talk a lot about the NTA challenge with Tom's travel plans. There are so many variations of that. So, yeah.
You come to get very close with Tom. And Gina, could you remove Nate's comment?
Yep, I see it.
Okay.
So
now she's looking at the chat, so I'm no longer translator.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep up with it. So Shelly asks, will the Q&A show up on the videos, or do we need to copy the links down now? You can always come back to these later, so don't worry about copying things over. You can scroll up in the chat once the show is over and find the links. And if you're having trouble finding them, you can reach out to us on either the Cyber Skyline Slack or on Twitter, all that fun stuff. So we'll put our Twitters down here at the end. So yeah, you can always come back to these later. And then I don't think
Johnny Appleseed sharing tools. Now everybody knows the secret to solving the challenges, PowerPoint.
Oh, I'm so glad that's a troll.
For all we know, like Ghost has pulled up multiple screens and made up a bunch of screen names, and that's actually Ghost in the Machine posting that.
Oh, so Kate just asked, can I announce the Xena sticker contest? So if you go on Cyber Skyline Slack, I think it's just in the NCL Spring 2020 channel, Kate posted yesterday about version 2.1 of the coaching guide on her website. If you guys could all take a look at that and give Kate some feedback about it, you will be sent Xena stickers. They are super Xena stickers. She also shared a picture in the Cyber Skyline Slack, so you can go over there and look at it. So
they're really adorable too.
Yes, they're the cutest stickers ever. Xena is heckin' cute. So she gives stickers if she uses your feedback, and the pictures of the sticker are also on her Twitter. So that's that. We got a couple more questions here. So Johnny asks, are questions unique to each player? So if we catch someone posting their challenges online, we can implement swift justice. So the questions are not unique to each player, which is another kind of, it depends on the challenge. So like, let's say we're talking about cryptography, they're randomized. So you might have a different 5 hashes than somebody on your team, which is like a really easy way for Cyber Skyline to check if you're cheating, because if they know, oh, somebody on your team, like that was the answer for their hash and you tried to answer it and you got it wrong, they know you're cheating. That's kind of the only situation where there's things that are different, is like the hashes you get during password cracking and crypto. But the questions themselves are unique. Everybody has the same categories and questions and all that stuff. The only thing you'll find that's different is the hashes. But if you do find somebody posting answers to challenges online, absolutely report it to Cyber Skyline, because they've kind of made it very clear that that's not okay.
If you see something that has a unique ID in it too, that's going to generate a different answer than someone else playing as well, because that user ID or TID is specific to you. So you can't just like find the answer to a certain challenge question online if it's got one of those in it and expect it to work.
Absolutely.
And they they definitely do a cheating audit at the end, and they're pretty good at what they do. So
yeah, and there's in the blog I wrote for this week, there's a little section about the cheating audit. So kind of explains a little. And if they do find you cheating, they'll push you into the pewter bracket pretty quickly. So there are like exceptions here and there. You know, you do get a warning first, and you know, your coach gets contacted. It's a whole process that is just kind of painful for everybody. So just don't cheat. Why is Kate calling me on my cell phone when she knows that I'm doing the show? Kate? What in the world? Hi, Kate. She hung up. Let's see.
check Slack.
I've been told she's calling me again. Hello? Hey. The people can hear you.
Oh. Well, it's on a delay. Can you take me off speakerphone?
Well, I have headphones on. Yes?
Check Slack.
Okay, I know that now.
Okay. Well, Kate and Gina are talking. To answer one of the questions I saw in there, the NCL swag store isn't currently open, but you guys do get an email whenever it opens. So as soon as that's open, you'll know. I don't know if it'll be open this season. Hopefully, but we don't know. Oh, you are Rec.
Oh my god, so many things. No, I didn't want to open a new tab. What's happening? Sorry, I've been told to check Slack. It's not working. Oh, I've been yelled at. Let's see. So, now I'm all off track. There's most of the questions that are in here, somebody's already kind of directly answered, so I'm not going to answer them again. Granted, I think this answer might be unclear, so I'm going to answer it. So EWB asks, can you talk to team members about the gym in the interim between preseason and the individual game, or is that off limits too? I mean, as long as there's not an active game going on and it's just about the gym, there's not really a problem with it. Kate did say you can only talk to your team during the team game, but I think she might have misunderstood the question. As long as there's not an active game going on, you can talk about the gym challenges. Definitely not during active games. So, anybody have anything they want to add? I'm going to take silence as a no. Just one other thing. It's best that you don't talk to your teammates during active games. I know, preseason, it's a little, you can't go, if it's people you're friends with, you might not go a week without talking to each other. Just if you're going to talk to somebody, don't talk about NCL. That's the easiest way to avoid cheating. So, yeah. Let's see. So, Abraham asks, is there a way to skip one part of a question, or if you can't answer it, is that the end of the line for that section? It depends on the type of answering thing it is. So I showed you guys before, if it's the type where it's the question and then you answer it and then the next question pops up, unfortunately you can't skip those. That's just not how it works. But if it's the type where it's just a list of questions, answer whatever you want. You can skip as many as you want on those, but unfortunately you can't skip in the command style questions. Let's see. Lisa says, I'm very new to this and Googling is my best friend. Is Googling questions for answers considered cheating? No, it is not. Google away. We said this before, so just to reiterate, in case you missed it, Google is your friend. So, Kate has already answered a bunch of these, but I'm just going to keep answering them. Shelly asks, will you be having a webinar before the individual and team challenges or just for preseason? We do this every Thursday. So next week's will be about individual, and I think the week after is about team. Let's take a look at the schedule. So yes, next week is everything you need to know about the individual game. The week after is how to select teams and then work together. And then the week after that is everything you need to know about the team game. And then our final show for the season is how to include NCL on your LinkedIn and resume. So definitely stick around for that because we get that question so much. So join us. We like when people are here. We have people to talk to when people are here. It's not fun if it's just the four of us staring at each other. So I think that is pretty much all of the questions that we have so far as of right now. It is 8:47 already. What in the world? I feel like I've done so much talking and I'm tired. Let's see. Would anybody like to just chat about something that I maybe missed?
I agree. Like, calamari is the bomb.
What is
I'm reading
happening?
the chat. Sorry.
Oh, Kate said sushi. Kate,
And
I haven't
friend
had
rice.
sushi since this whole
Sushi
thing
and
started.
friend rice.
I haven't had sushi since this whole being at home thing happened, and I'm really sad about it.
I decided to take the danger train and order sushi from a local.
I can't get my nails done.
Mistakes were made.
Wait, where did you say you ordered sushi from?
It's from a local speed restaurant. Mistakes were made.
Oh.
Mistakes were made.
And you're in a landlocked state, aren't you?
No, in Ohio we have
But you don't have an ocean though.
we have
But you're not getting sushi fish from a lake.
In Ohio, that lake doesn't count. That's not a well, okay. I can't say anything. I'm in West Virginia, so I mean.
Yeah. I'm in New York, in the city, so we have real good sushi. Are we just talking about food now?
I mean, it's an important part of NCL competition.
I mean, it is, guys.
And of course, coffee. Coffee is absolutely.
I can't drink coffee anymore, and it makes me real sad.
I also can't drink coffee. I have caffeinated sparkling water.
Oh, I can't even do that. I just have water.
I gotta scroll.
Yay! Michigan neighbor.
Let's answer Kate's Q&A. Yeah, it's all the way at the bottom, even though it has 2 votes.
Yes, it is.
I can't find it. I don't even see it.
I don't either.
Really? I see it. Maybe close the window and pop it up again.
Tell us about your first Tell us about your first preseason.
Let's see. If I can even remember my first preseason. Somebody else go first. I gotta think.
Mine was spring of 2016, and it was an adventure that I would never like to repeat. That was before I learned about so many different things, and I was just a freshman in cybersecurity. I was very single-minded in terms of operating system processes, and NCL kind of forced me out of the box, which was nice.
Cool. What about
back when they had the multiple individual games?
Oh yeah, it was a totally different format back then. I think the next season after that they switched into Cyber Skyline and started doing it like this.
Yeah.
Interesting. Aaron, would you like to go next?
Sure. It's hard to think about my preseason. I actually did it as part of one of my college classes. The professor just he couldn't make the NCL part of the gradable curriculum, but he was like, hey, we'll cover your fees. Just kind of do a question, like at least do one question, sign in and do one question. So I signed in and I tried everything. And according to this, I'm looking at the NCL spring 2017 right now. It was a rough time. It was a different time, let me put it that way. That was the first cybersecurity CTF anything I had ever done. And to kind of connect it back to what we've been talking about today, I've never taught myself more with Google in a 48-hour sitting than I did in 2017 of spring season.
A mood. A whole mood right there. I think we all learned the most just sitting trying to figure out individual season. It's great. Norma, take it away.
Well, my first was spring of 2018, and I just barely made enrollment into the university that I'm at and found my way into their Slack chat, and they've been nothing but encouraging. Everybody in it has. Cyber snoopers. Anyways, I was afraid to do most of the challenges because I was convinced that there's no way possible that I knew enough to keep up with anybody. Even myself. So I refused to even try the enumeration. I didn't even try it because I thought there's no way that I'm going to know anything about it. I didn't try that the first season. I was afraid of quite a few of the challenges. I had a lot of encouragement. Like I said, my teammates at the school that I'm at are amazing. And then I found that when I found my way into the NCL Slack, more amazing people. This is just the best community I've ever been a part of. I get that we don't get to do the whole methodologies while it's going on, but the way that people open up and share how they came to their answers afterwards, it gives encouragement that everybody's open enough that they want other people to learn. They want other people to be doing well. And so I didn't do so great my first season. I say not so great. I placed silver bracket the first go out, and then everything after that was gold bracket. But I ended up finding that I knew more than I thought I did. It just wasn't called what I thought it was called. And that's about how my first season went down.
Nice. So my first preseason, I was easily the most unwilling participant on the team. I was very much forced into it. If you guys read my Why I Became an Ambassador blog, I spoke a little bit about it there. I definitely was no, I don't want to do cybersecurity. I was only a computer science major for a year at that point. I started school in nursing, which the world away from where I was 5 years ago is crazy. So yeah, I was definitely super unwilling participant. Didn't think I was going to do well. But I went to all the practices anyway, because, I enjoyed the friendships I was making, and that kind of kept me coming back. But I was also learning a lot. So played my first preseason, shockingly got in silver. I was not expecting that at all. I came to the practice after preseason and was oh my god, I made silver. What in the world? And I was super proud of myself. For, somebody else, they'd be oh, I'm so disappointed I got in silver. But I was the most excited. So yeah, my first preseason, I don't remember the specifics, but it went well. So yeah. Apparently Kate wants to tell her story and wants to be added in. Am I reading that correctly?
I believe so.
I'm going to have to boot one of you.
You can swap me for Kate.
Okay.
I'll
Bye,
take the
Aaron.
hit. Later.
Okay, can you hear me? I'm gonna leave my camera
Yes.
off because I've been working
Okay.
from home and none of y'all need to see that today.
You know, you can just like turn your camera off and we can just hear you talk.
Could do that. Cool. Okay. Hooray! Now
Yay.
So, I feel like at this point, there is no excuse for anyone in the NCL community to do worse in preseason than I did my first season, because I didn't know there was more than one challenge. I got into open source and I did the first set of open source questions. Didn't get them all, got, a few. And I couldn't figure out how to navigate to other sections of the challenge. And now we have so many blogs out there and resources, and there's getting started guides, and Cyber Skyline has the Slack and the tickets you can submit. There's just so many options that there's not really an opportunity for you to fail as much as I did, because there's also the getting started challenges, and those challenges are designed to give you free points so you can figure out how to work the platform. So my first season, I'm pretty sure the only people that I beat were the ones who never signed in. So that was my first season. And by the end of my first season, I was ranking in the top 500 overall. So I went from, the worst player in the room by far to one of the top players nationally. And, I've only grown from there. So you got this. You're all going to do better than I did. And look how far I've come.
Yeah.
I'm
We'll come a long way.
I'm going to get out of the way and let Aaron come back. But I just thought it was important to share because, some of you were really successful and got into silver their first season. Gina, hush.
Tried real hard.
Meredith, how did you do your first season?
I honestly can't remember. I know that I was back before the huge numbers of people were there. Can I actually check that on Cyber Skyline?
Probably.
I don't know if it goes all the way back because I can't go back to my first season, and it sounds like you started my second season, but it goes back to like 2017.
Yeah, I can see 2017.
Yeah, I think they started retaining them in 2017.
Mm.
Might
have been my first season they started retaining them because I started fall 2017.
I think they started in spring 2017, but don't quote me on that. I just know it was 2017. But yeah, there's people who are going to come in and kill it season one. I coached Gina, and there's more content on my blog than I gave Gina her first season.
Yes.
So
very much.
That just gives you some perspective on how many resources there are available. Gina made top 50%, and there's at least, 5 times the amount of information now.
Yeah.
Ghost says do it for the girls, and I agree. Like, kick ass for us.
That can be taken in many ways.
Well, I'm assuming Ghost. I'm gonna assume the best in Ghost and take away some of his troll status, and say that you should go into the games and do your best and kick all the ass for us, because we are proud of you and we're here to cheer for you. And honestly, like, that's one of our biggest jobs as player ambassadors, is to be your biggest cheerleader. We couldn't be more proud of every single player who just goes out there and gives it their all, even if you're not, in the top 50%, even if you're in the bottom 5%. If you did your best and you come back season after season and continue to grow, then we're really crazy proud of you, and like, we'll do anything we can to help connect you with the right resources in between active games. So I'm gonna go away now. You can bring back Aaron. He's much more interesting to look at than me right now.
All right, bye, Kate. And Aaron back in. Granted, I don't know how much more we have to talk about, and it's also early 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we might just be wrapping
Let's
up.
See. Oh, we do have another question here. Yes, I just added it as a question. Johnny asks, how do we know what percent we're in right now? Don't really. You can kind of gauge based on the leaderboard and like take a wild guess, but you won't really know until you get your brackets once preseason is over, and then it takes them a few days to kind of sort everything out. They got to remove us from the leaderboard, just so you guys know. In the end of all of this, we do end up in the in the pewter bracket. So you're not technically competing against us, but like you're totally competing against us because we're very competitive people. So yeah, you don't really know what percent you're in right now, but once preseason is over and you get your brackets, then you will know. So that is your answer.
I will say that if you want to hazard a guess, you can go to the preseason leaderboard and look at your rank compared to everyone who is currently playing. It's only going to be a rough estimate because a lot of things change.
Yeah.
Obviously, as the time goes on, but you can kind of just say like, oh, well, if I'm ranked 2000, I'm at least in the top 50%. So, and then extrapolate from there. Sometimes you can do that.
Yeah. It doesn't like always work like that because it's not really 50% of the leaderboard. It's 50% of like the points on the leaderboard. It's really weird. I don't fully understand how they sort it, but it's definitely a little bit strange. I think that is there. And yes, so somebody was asking about the time zone. I don't know Hawaii time. I think Hawaii is 6 hours behind New York, if I'm remembering that correctly. So it would be like, I don't know what time it is in Hawaii right now. I think it's like 3 p.m. in Hawaii right now, which is ridiculous. So that would be like 2 p.m. when we start. So we always start at 8 p.m. Eastern. So whatever time that is in Hawaii, I think it's 2 p.m. If that is any help for you. Let's see. I think as of right now, that is all the questions. Does anybody have anything they want to add?
If you haven't already done so, make sure to answer at least one problem by Monday night, I believe, at 9.
Yeah, Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be different for everybody. Everybody's asking about Norma's pupper.
Sorry, that's Miss Messiah.
I can't
She's
see her
rotten.
anymore.
Let's see if I can. She decided that she needed to sit in a chair because she thinks that she's human.
I love her. That's great. My cat.
She's extremely spoiled and rotten. And sometimes she forgets that she's a DOG.
A dog.
She like actually gets her feelings hurt, and yeah. She actually like was pouting because I called her a butt sniffer a couple nights ago.
Oh, jeez. She sounds a little bit like Xena. But yeah, my cat's
she's
like that.
moving at something.
We were playing Life the other night. We've been having these family game nights because we're all home. We were playing Life the other night, and my cat gets on the table, climbs into the box after everything's like set on the table, climbs into the box and starts swatting at the little like buildings on the board. He picked one up and tried to run off with it. We were calling him Godzilla. Pets, man.
Listen, if your cat doesn't have a secret stash of like your toys, your hair ties, everything important to you that you don't realize was important hidden somewhere, are they truly a cat?
I mean, yeah, my cat steals things off the counter. My dad early yesterday was like, I could have sworn I left a pen up here. And my mom was like, the cat definitely took it. Don't leave loose things like that. Kate told me to tell everybody about having to call me on video chat because of Xena. So usually I see Xena at least like 2 or 3 times a week because obviously Kate and I work in the same office and she brings Xena to the office. And we haven't been to the office this is like we're nearing the end of the 3rd week of working from home. We started working from home on the 9th, but I also took off on the 6th. So I have not seen Xena since March 5th. So that is 3 weeks ago. And she's really sad about it. And I'm really sad about it. And while I was eating lunch today and late last night, she called me on the Snapchat video chat and I talked to Xena and Xena licks the phone and swats at the phone because she's looking for me and it makes me really sad. everyone's bummed that they didn't get to see Xena at WeSys. At the very least, Gina is bummed. I think we're all bummed that we didn't get to go to WeSys. We're still sad about it. We're still recovering from our sadness. But these things happen, unfortunately. So everybody else is on mute.
That's hockey chick. I am well aware that that's what she's doing.
Dogs do what they want.
She also took her pig while we were in the green room. I said I was going to take her pig, which is her pet, and she stuck it literally on my side of the bed in my spot.
Well, she knew you were going to take it, so it had to go where you sleep.
I'm in full agreement. I was like, I'm really bummed that I didn't get to check out the onesie too.
Oh yeah, Xena's onesie is glorious. I feel like Kate posted a picture somewhere, but that might just be private to us. And I see pictures of Xena every 5 minutes, so I don't even know anymore.
I believe it was on a previous live stream, actually.
Was it? In her onesie, though?
Unless I'm crazy, which is highly probable at this point, since I have also been quarantined since March 9th. But I'm 99% sure.
I mean, it very well could be, because I definitely forget to watch the live streams when I'm not on them. Oh, Kate says it's on Twitter. She's on Twitter in her onesie. I'll find the link. Okay, I'm not logged in on this browser. Wait. I can't spell anymore. My Wi-Fi is so slow. Honestly, I'm surprised I haven't been booted at all during this show, because my Wi-Fi the other day, literally the middle of the workday, on a Zoom call, my Wi-Fi just said, nope, we're not working anymore. It just turned off completely. Luckily, I dial into Zoom for audio, so I was still on the call. Pro tip. Okay, this link on Twitter is not happening because I'm just stuck in loading. Oh, wait. We might get it. I just opened the email by accident. Jesus. Well.
Kate already beat you to it.
She found it. That's good. Because clearly I'm not getting it anytime soon. But yes. And now, if you haven't already, you can follow Xena on Twitter.
I think basically, like, just to recap. Oh, I was waiting to see if you're going to recap.
Oh, I thought you were talking.
Someone asked if we were done, but yeah, I can continue. I mean, this is like this new elite cryptography called Hush Talk. This is Hush cryptography. I am my own cipher. Some people understand it, some people don't. Anyways, just to recap though, preseason, answer a question. It's mandatory, or you go to Peter. You go directly to jail. Do not pass go. You know, sleep, because sleep is important. Drink plenty of.
You don't need to be on 24/7, especially not.
I mean,
it's a week long, you might be during individual, but yeah, preseason's a week. You have plenty of time. Don't dedicate every second of your life to preseason. It's not that important.
It's okay to walk away from your electronic device so that you don't impale like an animal, small child, or other person. It's not necessary to like, yeah, well, I mean, I think they can take the yelling a lot better than embedding a laptop into their like hind end. So if you hear yelps, you know that you probably should have walked away. But yeah, so like answer at least one question so that way you can get placed into a bracket.
Yeah.
And
I think
that's about it.
Yeah. And don't
I hear that sleep is your friend, but you know,
a lot of people don't listen to us when we tell them to sleep. It is what it is. You have even more time to sleep now. Isn't it great? Who else has been sleeping late because they don't have to commute? It's fantastic. I get an extra 2 hours of sleep in the morning. It's wonderful. So I think that's it for us.
I'm an insomniac, so I don't do that much.
Yeah, that happens too. But anyway, I think that's all for us tonight. It doesn't look like anybody else has any more questions about preseason, and we've just been chatting away about nothing for 10 minutes. So I think we're going to call it a night here. Reach out to us on Twitter if you have any questions that are not like challenge content related, but if you have like random questions for us or just want to talk to us and all those things, please reach out. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.